Hi everybody. I hope you've had a good week. My name is Marlene Moore. I'm the creator of the Back to Basics piano method, and thank you for watching. You will need a book one for now, and this is where you get it. Here is the publisher's name at the bottom. It will also be written on the outside of the YouTube in the comments, so you can find it there. This method is based on the ideals of love, achievement, freedom, and fun. And that means love, achievement, freedom, and fun for student and for the teacher. So important to have fun because, you know, if I'm not having fun, my student's not having fun. It needs to be an interesting thing for them to do, not a terrible chore. You know, most students are children. I hope by now you have one of these. This is an amazing tool for sight reading. This is called a note finder. It's available on Amazon. You can also get it at your local piano store. And this quarter note just moves up or down wherever you need it. Just be careful when you let really small children use it, because sometimes they grab onto the string, and the string isn't very big. You will also need some sight reading flashcards. Now, I made my own, but they're available just about anywhere. In fact, there are a couple of places right on Facebook where you can order these on the Facebook groups. I sent for these playing cards that are, would you believe, blank. They're absolutely blank. And they're a perfect size for a child to hold in his or her hand. What I did was take the magic marker, the Sharpie, and I made my own. So they're very easy to use, and again, to fit into the hand. Just a ruler and a Sharpie will do it. They don't work with any other kind of ink. So if you use ballpoint or any other kind of ink, it's not going to work. It'll smear all over the place. But the Sharpie works great. It doesn't smear. Okay, so we're going to be talking about these afterwards, so I won't put them too far, because today I promised you we were going to do something in the sight pages. First of all, though, let's talk a little more about replacement dialogue. What is replacement dialogue? Seems like a fancy name for something as simple as, how do you correct a child who has played just about everything wrong and you don't know what to say? So in your mind you're thinking, maybe you're thinking, at least I do, I'm thinking, that was terrible. That was really awful. What will I say to this child? Everything was wrong. Well, maybe I could say, you sat up very nicely. I noticed that your posture is so much better today. Something like that to make the child feel good. He may not know that he's played it very badly. So what we do is always show by example. Auditory first. This is butterfly. So I might say, well, how is my butterfly different than your butterfly? And he may not know. You may have to play it 25 times over a period of 2 years for him to know the difference. Most children will know, though. So what do we do if the child has played a piece fairly well? We want to say something positive. We want to replace the mistake. That's why I'm calling it replacement dialogue. You're having a dialogue with the child, and in a very tactful, nice, positive way, you're thinking, how can I correct this mistake? And not say something like, well, you made a mistake, that was awful, you didn't do it right, go home and practice. That's not good. That doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. Can make the child want to quit piano, makes him have absolutely no motivation to continue. It's up to you to make it interesting. So you're thinking very quickly in your mind, okay, he did all of the notes wrong. He did this. His staccato was non-existent. Everything was pretty bad. What do? Do you just keep talking? I don't. I don't keep talking. I keep playing. Say, all right, let's have a contest, and put a sheet up and say, I'm going to play it 10 times, and I'm going to give you 10 turns too. Let's both do 10 turns. Butterfly, 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 butterfly. Then it becomes a game. That's one way to replace it. Another way is to just say, well, okay, I've got this really pretty butterfly hanging from the wall. You can hang a butterfly from the ceiling. Have the child look outside, whatever. Say, I want you to look for that butterfly. Have a look at that butterfly. Tell me, how many colors do you see in the wings of that butterfly while I play it for you? See how many colors. I'm going to ask you. Talk about the butterfly. Get his mind off of whatever it is here. We learn through listening, and we learn through sight too. But we're always going to do this sound before sight, always, in the Back to Basics piano method. Why? Because that's how music evolved. Music is a listening thing. Okay, what I'd like you to do, and we can talk about it on our group. Oh, by the way, if you haven't joined our group, it's Back to Basics Piano Teachers on Facebook. I hope you'll join us. We have lots of fun. Anyway, what I'd like my group to do is to get a sheet of paper, write down 10 ways that you would correct a child using this idea of replacement dialogue. It's harder than you think, because we're so conditioned to say, oh, you did it wrong, or here, this is how it's supposed to go. You don't have to devastate the child in order to teach piano. You need to build them up constantly. They're little children. Most of them are anyway. Okay, so that's your homework. 10 replacement dialogue for if the child has made a mistake. What do you say? Sometimes I tell a joke, get their mind right off of it. Alrighty, let's talk about sound before sight. Let's talk about keyboard geography. Have you ever heard that term? Keyboard geography. Here it is. Keyboard geography. And I have two very special beings here today. This is Blondie Bear, and this is her son, Theo Bear. And Theo is going to start piano lessons today. You didn't know that bears could play the piano. Well, mine do. My bear, I have 5 bears, and they all play the piano. All right, Theo, you want to learn piano lessons, do you? That's good. All right, let's see what you can do. What's that? Oh, you play with your nose. Okay, well, that's allowed. Let's see if you can play peanut butter. He likes it. All right, Theo, your nose. Here we go. Say, that was a pretty good first time, wasn't it? It really was. Thank you. We're going to work on that one later. But let's go down to here. Can you see that this one here, this white key is right beside the two black keys? Can you see that, Theo? All right. Let's find all of those. It's called C. That's its name. You know, your name is Theo? Well, this is called C. There's a big low one like a growly bear, just like Grandpa Bear. Okay, let's find all of them. This is very good, Theo. Very good. Look at that. He's finding all of them. Isn't that great, Blondie? Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you, Theo. All right. At home, you can do that. You can find where all of those live, like that. You're very gifted. Thank you so much for coming. What's that you say, Blondie? How much does he have to practice? That is a very good question. You know, I never tell students that they have to practice. I don't. That sounds nuts, doesn't it? I hate that word practice. That practice to me is like having to take out the garbage or scrub the floor or do something that I don't want to do. Clean the bathroom. That's what practice is to me. I never practice. I never do. I just play. I play. My fingers have fun. And you know what, Blondie? That was a fantastic question because you only have to practice on the days that you eat. Did you know that? Do you eat every day, Theo? You do? You eat every day. Well, that's all you have to play the piano. And you don't have to practice, just play. Play. My fingers love to play. Would you like to do it one more time before you go home, Theo? All right, here we go. Let's try it one more time. Ready? Go. Well, very, very nice. You tried your best, didn't you? Aren't you proud of him, Blondie? You should be. So I'll see you next week at this time. Thank you so much for enrolling Theo in Back to Basics piano lessons. He's going to be a fantastic student. Bye for now. Those are resident bears. They live here, so they hear a lot of music, and they like it too. They especially like Teddy Bear's Picnic. That's a good one. Alrighty, guys, we're going to talk about other things to do with keyboard geography, which means down here first. You can teach it whatever way you want. This is the way I do it. I find all the C's, left hand, right hand. That's lesson 1. Lesson 2 would be show them where the F's live, because that is also a landmark, isn't it? The F, white F, is right beside the group of 3 black keys, so it's easier to find. Sometimes I say, here's the door. This is the door on this side to the 3 black keys. So that's F they learn. Lesson 3, I would go C, F, C, F, C, F, C, F, all the way up, right hand, till they get the hang of where the pattern is. That's what the geography is. Teach them in this pattern: C, F, D, E, G. So the next lesson would be D. I always say, hey diddle diddle, D in the middle of the 2 black keys. hey diddle diddle, D in the middle of the two black keys. You can make up whatever you like, but that they seem to like those kinds of things, and it gives them something to anchor their thoughts on. It works. About lesson 5, you might say, okay, have you figured out the piano alphabet? Well, maybe they have, maybe they haven't. The piano starts on A, ends on C. So we've got an alphabet happening, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and there's no H. Not allowed. It just starts all over again. So have them do that. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it starts all over again. Have them pause there. And that's why I say the little thing and it starts all over again. It works. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Use the left hand for this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Switch hands. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on right to the top. That is keyboard geography. If they don't know where they're going down here, they're not going to know where they're going up here. So that when you're ready, you have got a C on the keyboard, and that's what they're going to find here, the C up here. In our society, we have learned to say, this C lives here. Well, actually, it's the other way around. This sound, if it had a picture, would look like that. So, where does this sound live? It lives here. A student who's trained that way, sound before sight, can very easily, after 3 months of piano lessons, go and write that anywhere, on a blackboard, on a flashcard, anywhere. They can write it because their little ears are tuned up to the sound of C. And isn't that great when you get older? Because we get more notes that we have to learn. More and more and more and more notes. So, after you have done this on and on and on, here's D. This is the sound of D. Where's the picture of D? Where is that note? Well, it's here, this way. We're used to going from here to here. D lives here. Turn it around. The sound of D is here. This is what it looks like. After a while, you can reverse that, saying D lives here, because they'll know what you mean. Most children nowadays are not trained auditorily or orally, A-U-R-A-L-L-Y. We want them to hear things before they see things. It's important. That's when they will learn how to become really good musicians, because music is all about hearing things. Hearing the music. There are 2 of them. All right, so have the child listen to these 2, and then show them here what they are, up to here. And reverse it once in a while if you like. So this goes on, introducing also the left hand ones. Notice we're not anywhere near middle C. This is the old way of having your thumbs fight on C. The new way is here. So by the time they get to butterfly left hand, they are doing the lower C down here, like that. And in the same way. And they sometimes get little things to do, like make 2 white notes here in the boxes. At this point, it doesn't matter that this kind of note gets 4 counts and this kind of note gets 2 counts. We don't have to turn ourselves inside out saying that it's a whole note and a half note. Children don't care, not at this point, especially if they're 3, 4, or 5 years old. They just want to know how to play it. There's this one, and there's this one. That's what they want to know. Tell them some notes are black, some notes are white, some notes have tails, some notes don't. Make up a little verse. They like that. Okay, these go on until at the end, the sight reading looks something like this. I have my working copy. Your copy will not be in a binder. So, they've learned this. They've also learned a staccato note, what the staccato note looks like. They call it hot. And they've learned the other rote pieces, which next week we're going to have a deeper, closer look at the rote pieces in Book 1. We did some of them, but not all of them. Is that enough sight reading for children in this book? Well, sometimes, you know, some children are slower than others, some are faster than others. The Back to Basics piano method is, well, in the beginning, I wrote it for the average student. The average student, because this is mostly what we do get as piano teachers. We get average students. Once in a while you get a prodigy. Not very often. I've had 3 prodigies during my lifetime. Don't know how many you've had, but I certainly haven't had very many. If you do get a prodigy, they're going to go through that book very quickly. If you get a gifted student, he or she is going to go through that book very quickly. What do? This is enough for the average student, and maybe the student that has special needs. This would be enough sight reading. But what about the one that's a little faster? Well, to fix that too. This is called Music Maps. Book 1. It is a sight reading book, and it is the companion book for our regular curriculum, Book 1. It's the companion. Now, not everybody needs this book, but the ones that are speeding along, they need more sight reading. The ones that are having difficulty and they need more practice, they're going to need this book too. Book 1, rather. Book also. Music Maps, Book 1. Each one of the curriculum books in the series has a companion book. This is the companion book. You see the great big notes? I don't know if you can see that from here or not. You need your own book to be able to follow along. So, and left hand. And it goes on and on and on till it's both hands. It's mixed up. Why are they such big jumbo notes? Well, especially for age 3, 4, 5, they don't come up very high on the piano bench. They need to be able to see them. Children love these big notes. They really do. I heard from a teacher not too long ago. She has been teaching a child who is partially blind, and the child can see these big notes. So they're very helpful for her. Give them a sticker for every page. Children need rewards, one of those stamps. Give them something because they work hard at this. Okay, so sight reading, Music Maps, Book 1 goes with the curriculum, Book 1. And you're going to do 10 replacement dialogues, and I would like you very much to practice all of the little pieces in Book 1. I hope that you've obtained Book 2 by now, because we're going to be into that very, very soon. If you don't want to make the sight cards, buy them, but they're costly. I got this whole package of cards for practically nothing on Amazon, and they work. They're also good later on for teaching intervals, and intervals such as CE, CD. What have I got here? CF, CG. Children sight read best when they're taught intervals, when they're ready to handle it. That. The other thing I've used this for is a game of fish. Instead of getting a regular card for fish, they can sit in a little group. I used to have group classes for performance classes, and they'd do something like this in addition, and they would see what would match up with the other card, and they like that. Is like I called it music fish. You can make up your own games too. Okay, that's it for today. I hope that you enjoy video number 3. Please feel free to ask me questions. Get your books and do your homework, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.